Welcome back to another episode of Peak Performers Podcast. I'm your host, Thor Conklin, and today we're going to try something a little bit different. Wednesdays, you know that you get my content. Well, today's a little bit different. I was running around all day, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to create anything today. I'm actually going to call my buddy, who's an amazing business coach in the UK, get him on the line and have him do all the work. So, when we come back, welcome Rich Waterman.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. Rich, how you doing, buddy?
Great to talk to you, Thor. I love the fact that I'm considered to be a little bit different, and I'm more than happy to do all the heavy lifting for you today, buddy.
Oh, I tell you, I only gave you about 4 or 5 minutes to prepare for this, but that's what business coaches have to do. We get that phone call, right? Things are just breaking down, they're burning down, and we've got to get on the phone, and we've got to fix the problem. And you know what it was funny, because you and I were, actually, we weren't talking, but we saw something on Facebook. Someone wrote in and said, who's the best business coach in the UK? I simply put Rich Waterman, period, stop looking, done. I'm so glad that I don't have to compete against you here in the United States.
So not only are you incredibly good flattery, you also have impeccable taste as well, Thor. So straight back at you in the States as well, buddy.
Well, thank you very much. And just a point for the listeners, you can hear how great the sound is from Rich right now. About 20 minutes ago, as we're setting up this call, he had this, I think a tin can with a little string on it trying to conduct this interview. I'm like, you can't do that with your clients. You've got to use this nice setup. So if you're out there and you're using a shitty setup talking to your clients, stop right now. All right.
And all I had to do was actually track down the mic that worked.
There you go. Well, it's working. So I wanted to have you on today because what we do on Wednesdays, the other days we interview successful entrepreneurs, C-level executives. Today is about sharing our insights. And you're just brilliant when it comes to business coaching and consulting. What is some of the things that you're seeing from your clients? You know, business changes very dramatically, very quickly, and clients are seeing things that in some cases they haven't seen before. Things are moving much quicker. What are you seeing from your clients? What are the struggles?
I think one of the main struggles, a lot of the guys I work with are sort of business owners, high-level executives, are that they've often got to where they've got to through sheer hard work, and then they realize if they want to expand their business further that they have to do something radically different. And so often they engage with me is because they want to increase their business profits, but actually the name of the game is actually to regain quality time. So a lot of what I'm seeing right now are people that are looking to expand businesses but not compromise their own kind of personal lives, work-life balance, if that even exists, work-life equilibrium maybe. And how can they be certain of the fact that they can adopt different strategies that are different to where they've got them to where they already are, and in a way that actually then is sustainable for them? Because, you know, in my opinion, Thor, any idiot, if you get them to work 16, 20 hours a day, will probably create a business at some point that's vaguely successful. It's then, how do I then start to step away from that business and sustain it going forward?
Yeah, or at least they'll create a job for themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. So then they're in the business, not on the business, right? So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I came to you and I said, look, Rich, I'm working around the clock. I don't know what to do. I want some work-life balance. You know, I just can't seem to pull away. What do you tell them?
I'm always going to look at, I'm a big believer. I've got sort of 3 phrases when I coach people, which is discover, develop, and deliver your greatness. So I want to take them back to what are they truly great at. One of my favorite, one of my favorite terms is where's your saffron? So
where's your saffron? Now, look, you know, this is being broadcast around the world, okay? But, you know, there's a large audience here in the U.S. that we speak proper English. I don't know about you Brits over there. What's a saffron?
So saffron is a spice that is incredibly expensive but very, very effective in small quantities. And I will deliberately chuck that word in because most people have not heard of saffron. And so it's really then me getting to a point where, like, when are you going to start to value your time and make sure that you spend your time in your greatness and then get other people to do the rest of the stuff. So that's really what most of my coaching is about, is identifying what you're brilliant at, and then work out how all the other stuff gets handled. So what I'm seeing, though, is a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners being a jack of all trades and master of none. And, to really take your business to that next level, you've got to be focusing on your greatness and getting everyone else to do the rest. And you know what? If your business doesn't work doing that, you haven't got a business, so you're better off starting a different one.
All right, so I'm going to play the Whiny Client here. This is great. Every Wednesday, I'm just going to call you, and I'm just going to, throw stuff at you. All right, so look, I know what my greatness is. I know what it is, but I don't have the money to bring on additional staff members to do the stuff that I don't want to be doing or not in my genius. How do I go from doing it all to having somebody else help me when there aren't the profits there in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very typical problem, because you know what? They're probably paying all their profits to me, right? Because I'm now coming in as a great coach for them. So
yeah, like Saffron, small dose but expensive.
Exactly. That's why I position my fee. So then we're going to be looking at trading opportunities, partnerships, so on and so forth. Maybe there's something that you can do incredibly effectively for someone else. So let me give you an example of that. One of my clients is an unbelievably good accountant. And so what we were looking at to say, right, well, okay, one of the ways you can get started with me would be you can give me accountancy for my business and for some of my other businesses, and I can coach you on that. So do you know what? If you don't have the money right now to outsource some employee staff and so on and so forth, I actually think it's incredibly smart to look for strategic partnerships, other people to work with, so you can at least then get other people doing the great stuff. You can do even more of your great stuff and help them. And do an exchange. I mean, that's what we used to do before money existed, right?
That's a great idea. Love that. Okay, so I start bartering, and now I get some of those services taken care of. I've got a new client. Now I've gotten rid of some of the stuff that I don't want to do. What's the second step?
So from that point on, once you're starting to bring in extra income, from my perspective, it's all about then chipping away at that kind of low-hanging fruit. What's the low-end stuff that you're doing that maybe you can get someone in on the administrative side, personal assistant, bookkeeping, that side of things. I'm basically helping them to play the time game there. So, you know what? If you want to earn a six-figure income, then what you need to do is divide that income by the number of hours you want to work. And you know what? Any job that pays less than that out there in the market, you shouldn't be doing that job. And so it's a question of picking off those jobs that pay incredibly low level and working out how you're going to solve that. And I think in the modern economy, do you know what? Employing full-time staff depends on what your business is. But I mean, the advantage of employing full-time staff is you've got people that are reliable. They're going to show up nearly every day. But, increasingly our economy is moving towards outsourcing to partnerships, people kind of effectively owning themselves as a business. And so actually it's a great way to start, because you can start paying someone part-time, and then you'll be training yourself to get way more efficient, because you're going to be thinking, what tasks and processes do I need to identify in the business, and which one of those do I need to delegate?
Yeah, absolutely. What I did in our business here is I outsourced a big part of what we're doing to the Philippines. Now, I'm not talking about virtual assistants that are $5 an hour, but I found a woman that has an MBA. She would cost me almost about $90,000 in the U.S., and I've got her for about $12 an hour.
Wow.
A fraction. Yeah. But here's the thing. $12 an hour in the Philippines is a good wage.
Yeah, so it's win-win, right?
It's a win-win, exactly. She's really happy. She's building out the team remotely, and we're getting a lot of value for our dollars. Fantastic.
And then I guess kind of the next, you're probably going to ask me what come next, right?
There you go.
So as a good business coach, we need to anticipate what the next step might be.
That's right.
I spend a lot of time working with businesses on their culture. And so one of the guys that I follow actually is American, Simon Sinek, or I would call him Sinek in the UK, but I think his name is Sinek.
Yeah, yep.
Talks about the start with the why. And I think there's two important reasons for that. One of which is, if you want to stand out in the marketplace now, one of the great things about the internet and use of technology and so on and so forth is that, you can start businesses cheaply, you can run businesses relatively cheaply, so failure rates should be lower. But it also means that competition's up as well. And so for me, the great businesses out there are able to really identify what their why is, what their purpose is, and be able to communicate that out to the marketplace. It's called this inside out communication. Great examples. Apple are amazing at that in terms of, you look at their adverts, they're very, very rarely product based. They're actually kind of purpose, reason, connecting with their tribe based. And so I spend a lot of time working with businesses on their inside out communication, and also thinking about that same purpose-led business and how that relates to any staff you might have. So a number of business owners that I talk to have tremendous problems with staff retention. One of my friends sort of brought to my attention the cost of losing staff. Even a low-level staff member, if they leave, it's probably going to cost you about 25% of their salary in terms of turnover hit. And if they're a senior, if they're like a senior manager, executive type level, the cost of your turnover can be something around about 225% of their salary. So staff turnover is massive, and a lot of people just accept it as being part of business. But do you know what? The reason that often people leave is because their why, their purpose, or their values, or we call it in the Robbins environment, are not well aligned with the business's one, or they're not clearly aligned with the business thing. So I spend a lot of time with businesses working on that culture piece and making sure it's used both internally and also how the company interacts with the external environment, their customers or potential customers.
That's a great point. My clients across the board, they've worked for me for more than 6 months. None of them have a client retention. An employee retention issue. And let me say this really, really clear. If you have an employee retention issue and it's something that is recurring over and over again, it ain't the employee. It's you.
Exactly.
Period. Because I'm telling you, the people that have retention issues, and some of my clients had that when we started the engagement, they don't have it anymore. It is you. That's why they don't stay. And look, if they were in an environment that they absolutely loved, they loved the culture, they loved the mission, they were excited about what you were doing as a company, they'd stay. Nobody leaves a great relationship. So look in the mirror. That's the problem. I'll be the first to tell you. Everyone wants. Well, you're not going to get your hand held when you call me, but maybe Rich will hold your hand. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's the employee's problem. They're not very nice. He's the nice one.
Yeah, in your dreams, buddy. It's like, one of those things is that's, I think, actually, that's something else you're touching on there is the real value of having a business coach and mentor is, you know what? I'm not invested in brown nosing you or being nice to you because you're my boss and telling you what I think you want to hear.
Yeah.
A great business coach and mentor will actually tell you what they see and tell it straight, or a good one will, or a great one will. And that is massively useful. That's, for me, is like, why do people employ me and keep me employed as their business coach and mentor? Is they want a sparring partner. They want someone that's actually going to tell them the truth, or the truth as we see it anyway. And that, for business owners, because it can be quite a lonely position, is massively valuable. I often will market myself as being a sparring partner to high performers, executives, business owners, etc.
Well, that's why we talk once a month, and we go at each other. It's like, what do you have planned for the next quarter? Oh, I got this. Really? Are you planning on only working half days? What's going on?
Exactly.
Did you tell your mama that plan? Is she proud of you?
But it works, right? Because then we drive each other forward, and I've got the same relationship. I trained my cousin as a coach. Initially, obviously, it was kind of like an apprentice relationship, and then he became a six-figure coach, and now he's kicking my butt as much as I kick his. We have little jokes about, how much we made each month, and my target was always to make, £1 more than he does. And last month he had an amazing month. So that friendly competition is massively useful. And actually, so if business owners can set up friendly competition for themselves, and whether that's internally, but probably more likely externally, it's massively valuable.
Well, these episodes are short. We've already gone over a lot of time. You're not even getting anything in the show notes. So tell the audience how they can reach out and touch base with you.
I like to keep it simple. So my name's Rich Waterman. So my website is richwaterman.com. And my email is richwaterman@richwaterman.com. So if there are any people out there that fancy a business coach with a British accent, contact me. If they want one with an American accent that kicks their butt, then contact Thor.
and see, I'm from Jersey, so when I say Waterman, I put an R in there. Waterman.
Yeah,
so
Waterman.
It's Waterman.
Yeah, the man of water, exactly how you just spelled it, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us. Thanks for having us on. Thanks for being on. Thanks for being available. And tomorrow, you and I are touching base. Have a great night.
Yeah, look forward to it, man. Bye now.
Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.